I'm Blaze Wiseman, and this is going to be a brief presentation on the significance of cloning. And my part is on the historical context of cloning. The history of cloning can be dated back to about 10,000 years ago with the agricultural revolution. This is roughly when humans started to learn how to domesticate animals in order to supply their own food. Obviously, cloning is not the same as domestication, but there are many similarities as well as differences between the two. Work on cloning started in 1885, and its first major success occurred in 1996, when the first successfully cloned mammal, Dolly the sheep, was created. I believe that all of our work conducted to researching cloning is very valuable. However, the creation of Dolly will lead to an endless amount of possibilities that have been unlocked for us to use to our advantage as a species. As I stated before, agriculture was the very first spark that led to our curiosity in cloning. Once we had a grasp on domesticating animals, we eventually went on to mass produce domesticated farm animals to keep up with our food intake as a species. I believe that this is what sparked our motive to start cloning, due to the fact that cloning can be used in a way that improves on the idea of domesticating animals, as we can clone particular animals that have a high production rate. However, I also believe that the futuristic and unbelievable possibility of cloning in itself sparked our curiosity on the matter and led to the development of it, due to our nature as humans. The actual beginnings of our studies in cloning start in 1885, when Hans Drake discovered the possibility of artificial embryo twinning in sea urchins. As the decades went on, we had small discoveries here and there that added up very quickly, as only about 100 years later, we have our very first cloned mammal, Dolly the sheep. Ian Wilmot and Keith Campbell are credited with the biggest breakthrough in cloning history when they created Dolly. They attempted this experiment 277 times before they finally produced an embryo that could be carried by a surrogate mother. The importance of Dolly's success cannot be overstated. It proved that we could use this technology to create things such as human stem cells and organs. After Dolly's creation was announced to the world, she became a large center of attention in the public's eyes. It opened many people's imaginations to the possibilities of cloning, as well as created controversy over the matter. Some believed cloning to be a large ethical and moral issue, especially when talk of cloning humans arose. In the end, Dolly's success opened the entire science in cloning to the world. If it wasn't for the curiosity that led to the vast history and research conducted on cloning, the doors that were opened by the success of Dolly would still be closed. We would also be without the potential of large medical advancements that come with it. From here, we look forward to the future where our advancements may unlock even more possibilities than we can even imagine. Cloning used to be nothing but a sci-fi-esque myth, but now it has become a reality. And these are my works cited.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Lemon, and I am reframing the issue of cloning and talking about some ethical questions. So with what you now know about cloning, allow me to discuss a few of the issues concerning both the future and ethical questions around cloning. When Dolly the sheep was born, she represented a vast new world that would soon have many implications on us as humans, and she made room for a whole new discussion. Is cloning ethical? Or have we gone too far in our scientific research? What are some of the potential scenarios that may arise in the near future which will require ethical examination? Cloning promises to be highly beneficial to modern medicine as well as having many other applications. However, with these beneficial qualities come many moral, ethical, and even legal questions to consider. One of the biggest questions related to both human and non-human cloning is merely the ethics surrounding the issue. These are not questions that can be answered alone, but instead will require the opinion and input of experts across the globe and experts who come from all different walks of life. These are questions that have to be answered together as a community, taking into consideration the views of those who represent both the religious and scientific communities, ethics boards, as well as those with legal perspectives to share. Suzanne Holland is an assistant professor of religious and social ethics at the University of Puget Sound who recognizes that human cloning and stem cell research has a great potential to aid in the curing of many hereditary disorders. She recommends we begin to assess the motivation behind individuals attempting to conduct any type of embryonic stem cell research as a way of regulating this research that is being conducted. Other individuals such as Lawrence Nelson, who's an associate professor of philosophy at Santa Clara University in California, recommend we consider the opinions of the individuals whose gamete sources created these embryos. If they consent to the research, then we find ourselves in a more confident ethical position. Paul Billings, the co-founder of GeneSage, has made his voice heard numerous times concerning this issue. As a counter-argument against embryonic stem cell research, he cites that it's unethical and unnecessary because humans are not guaranteed the right to genetically related offspring. Possibly the most significant area where human cloning and embryonic stem cell research can aid in human health is through a process called therapeutic cloning. Therapeutic cloning can eliminate hereditary disease by taking an embryo produced by in vitro fertilization and running scans on it to ensure it is free of hereditary disease. If it is not, these genes can be corrected using a method of genetic engineering. This corrected embryo can be cloned, and the clone will be implanted in the mother. This way, a genetically identical twin, identical in every way except the genetic disease, can be carried to term. There are many ethical and moral questions surrounding cloning in general, especially with regard to human cloning. Before we begin practicing such a method, we must first explore all the ramifications. Due to the nature of this field and the fact that it is such a new discipline, new research is continuously being done, and even the opinions of those most closely involved are always in a state of fluctuation. From the research I have done, I have come to the conclusion that there is far more to be gained from conducting embryonic stem cell research that might be lost by submitting to some sort of moral dilemma. The subject of human cloning has many ethical gray areas, such as the subject of designer babies and future humans designed with genetic enhancements that may even resemble something close to superpowers. However, this is an ethical bridge we must cross, and the simple possibility of genetically engineered babies, while wrong in my opinion, should not stand in the way of all the advancements in human health we stand to gain from future research into human cloning. And these are some of the resources I used to put together my presentation. Thank you.